To order. This is a meeting of the Reading Municipal Light Department Board of Commissioners for it's July 20th, 2017. This meeting is being videotaped at the RMLD offices at 230 Ash Street, Reading, Mass. The meeting is being videotaped for distribution to the community television stations in North Reading, Wilmington, and Lynnfield. Let me read our code of conduct. The RMLD Board of Commissioners recognizes the importance of hearing public comment at the discretion of the chair on items on the official agenda as well as on items not on the official agenda. We ask that all questions and comments from the public be directed to the chair and that all parties, including the members of the RMLD board, act in a professional and courteous manner when addressing the board and responding to comments. Once recognized by the chair, all persons addressing the board shall state their name and address prior to speaking. It is the role of the chair to maintain order in all public comment and ensuing discussion. So we have a visitor from the CAB. Okay, welcome.
Happy to be here.
Welcome, Neil. Make any statements while you?
I have no statements to make, thank you.
No opening statements. Okay, very good. Now let's see. I see no liaisons out there and staff. And public comment. Dave, you wanted to make? You requested time.
Just a moment to say that I think from the last meeting, I believe that April presents a deadline for certain solar renewable energy credits. If that's right, Jane. And I guess it was just, I think it's the sense of the board that we as a commission would like to encourage any development proposals to be brought forward and to, if we can, if they make business sense, get things done before this deadline in our district to get solar generation happening, both for public and private sites. And that's just the sense I've had from our strategy meeting and other sources, and just want to put it out there that deadline is real, and from all the news accounts, these credits might be drying up, and now's our moment to put our foot on the gas.
I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask one question on that, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Jane, what is the cutoff, like what has to be done by April?
Yeah, we're in the process of looking for that specific.
Okay.
I'm not certain if it has to be
Approved?
constructed.
Oh, okay.
or- So we're looking into those qualifications.
Thanks.
Jane, is there anything the board can do to be helpful in terms of either evaluating things or encouraging or?
I think the board has been very receptive in terms of giving us direction, in terms of meeting with the towns, as well as the amount of solar that you're interested in achieving in this short window. So that would be helpful.
Okay. We're here for you.
And there's also been some discussions at the staff level with the towns of Wilmington and the towns of Reading, if I understand correctly.
We've met with Lynnfield on July 10th.
Yep.
And they're very receptive to the idea. Wellington came in yesterday, the 19th.
Yep.
Very receptive. We're working on a potential RFP for them to put out. And I'm meeting with Reading tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
Okay, and these all are like potentially municipal or school building
Correct.
sites?
Correct.
Okay. That's great to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Okay, before I move on to the minutes, I do want to note that Colleen, the manager, is on vacation this week and is not here. Wendy, Wendy's title is business manager. What's her official title?
Director of Business and Finance.
Business manager. She's also on vacation and will not be here this week. So we got Hamid and Jane are the co-presenters here tonight.
Skeleton crew.
Very capable.
Well, we also have Tracy here, so we have the big three here.
Yep.
All right, very good. Let's move on to the approval of the minutes. So if we could do this as one motion, it'd be great. I don't know if people got changes in any of the minutes they want to have, any of the particular ones. Instead of doing it each as individual, I'll accept the motion to accept them all.
I'd like to make a motion to accept them all
Okay,
in one motion.
all as presented. So that's the minutes for September the 29th, October the 20th of 2016, December the 15th of 2016, January 31st of 2017, February 23rd of 2017, March 23rd of 2017, and April 20th of 2017. Was that seconded?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? That motion carries 5-0. All right.
Victory.
What was that vote again? What was the, I'd like to keep her.
5-0.
5-0.
5-0. It's unanimous. You can use your hand to just keep track.
Okay, got it.
Our sixth board member wasn't available tonight.
The sixth man was not available. All right, let me go on to the report of the chair. This is just basically an item, I'm looking for information. Right now, basically the department, in terms of the financial statement, is on a fiscal calendar year, ending June. Goes from July 1st to June 30th. The report that goes into the DP, what do they call themselves, DPU? Yeah. They still call themselves a DPU. The DPU is basically on a calendar year. So basically, we put a lot of burden on the department to do these two reports, because we've got two different cutoff dates.
What's, Mr. Chair?
Yep.
So DPU's calendar, and what's the other one?
The financial
regular-
statements
for
on
the
the
RMLD,
fiscal
yeah.
year, because that's the same fiscal year as the town.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've talked about, kind of, cutting, looking at costs where they come and see what we can do. And so I'm looking for the department to put together some sort of idea as to how much extra this has cost by having these two year ends, these two different year ends. And whether or not we could, go back to just, because at one time we were a calendar year end. And, that changed at one point. And whether we go back to that and we get that audited, and we only have deal with one cutoff each year as opposed to two. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, so I guess two comments. I guess one question would be the town manager's perspective on, because obviously, I don't know how much synergy there is with our budgets and their budgets, or dependability, so that might be one issue. Secondly, I don't know, and I'm not sure Neil could speak tonight for all the towns, but I don't know to what extent it would impact, Linfield and, but I think it's a good idea
Right.
because having two separate reportings, and, I mean, I'm used to calendar and all the rest of my life, so
Yeah.
I would see that as a,
Yeah, so again, it's more just gathering data at this
Yeah.
point. Because basically, when we had a calendar year, and I hope I got this right, the audit costs were less than we're now paying. So that would, one thing would be to talk to the auditors and see, because it was a different time, and so the audit fee was less than it was. It's one of the examples of something that I have here. And the fact we have the two cutoffs, in terms of getting that information together. And it seemed to me that the information that goes to the DPU, that really should be the final audited information, which it really is not right now. It's only audited really for the first half year.
So it's double work.
Double work. I mean, and I'd like the department maybe to think about that and get some numbers back to us in terms of what that is. Not that we're gonna change, not that we may change, but I'd like at least to explore the idea again at this point.
Yes,
Go ahead,
Mr.
Tom.
Chairman, I agree with that. I think it'd be a good thing to synchronize the two. And if anything, there may be only 1 year where they have to go through a partial year this year.
Right.
And then the next to synchronize the two. And then from that point forward, I would think it would be either less cost or the same cost as we've experienced in the past.
Okay. All right, Chair. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so this is actually more a subset of that discussion, but, and when Wendy's here, it's more appropriate, but maybe we could just make a note, Tracy, for when Wendy is back, and it's really around, regardless of what fiscal year parameters we establish. One of the things that I think we talked about, I know I raised it last year, maybe, is without, doing a full-fledged report, the opportunity maybe to get some kind of view of the financials. I understand the reason why, and all our companies have that same struggle, but I think, what do we, Jane or Amit, are we presenting financials tonight without, but if, I guess regardless, what would we be presenting tonight, what months? Yeah, so what I'm really, and again, and it's not a criticism, because we struggle with the same thing, but because of the timing of how we close things from a responsiveness point of view going forward, where where it's July, it's almost August, right, and we're looking at May, so that's really rear view, right? So any actions we wanted to take, if there were an issue, there isn't, it's hard to be very nimble because we couldn't implement anything until September or October, and we're back in May's data, you know what I mean? So I don't want Wendy to feel we have to redo the financials, and again, the discussion should happen with her, but some way to maybe get at least a scorecard on the financials of what it looks like generally, because I'm sure some of that information must be around.
Okay. So the idea is this is just a starting point at this point, just to get data and requesting data at this point. So, any other comments from anybody?
good point.
If not, let's go on to the power supply. Jane, come on down.
Well, actually, the floor is slanted, but I'm not sure which way. It's actually this way, isn't it?
I'm sure she's going down.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Actually, I believe we were on a hill, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman Pacino. A couple of community events that RMLD is involved in. On August 7th at 10 o'clock in North Reading, Park and Rec Truck Day. That will be at 15 Central Street in North Reading. RMLD will be participating. On August 15th at...
Excuse me, Jane, what is it? Is that like a kid's thing? Or?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct. Touch a truck where they can climb in the trucks. Various departments from North Reading will be there, and
Where
because
is it taking place?
it's at 15 Central Street in North Reading.
Okay.
And on August 15th at 7:30 a.m. At the Reading Library on Middlesex Avenue, they will be having a truck day as well, and RMLD will be participating and there to hand out a few goodies. On September 10th, from 12 to 5, the Reading Town Fair will be happening in Reading. RMLD will have a booth there participating with giveaways and information. Currently, RMLD is holding a high school art contest. On August 1st, we're going to have a educational session. We so far have 19 registrations, which is pretty significant for it being summertime. It's open to grades 9 through 12 for students in Reading, North Reading, Wilmington, and Linfield. And we're hoping to get two-dimensional art, whether it's graphic art, photography, drawings, etc. So we're really encouraging students to participate and looking forward to that. Our public power open house will be on Thursday, October 5th. Hopefully that won't be here too soon because the summer is enjoyable. And I'm sure Hamid will be talking about, in August, we'll be holding the ribbon cutting for the DG. So we'll start with our power supply report. Go next, move on. This particular pie chart looks at May of 2016, and it depicts RMLD's resources that make up the portfolio. As you can see, approximately 15% of the resources are renewable, which include hydro, wind, and solar. Nuclear represented around 14%, the spot market about 15%, and the rest of the system was around 55%. And that just kind of tells you where we're buying the types of resources that are included. The next chart.
Jane, you got a question?
Sure.
Yeah, now or when it's appropriate, Jane, can you speak to, I'm guessing I'm not the only one that's received 100 calls on the electrical rates going up and renewable, are you familiar with that?
Correct, I'm very
Yeah.
familiar with that.
Yeah, so maybe just how that impacts us and the listening audience.
Sure, absolutely.
do about it, or-
On July 1st, the RMLD filed new rates with the effective July 1st. We filed them in June. Effective July 1st with the Department of Public Utilities. The major the cause of the rate increase is related to our capacity and transmission. Capacity has increased 5-fold, and it's actually remarkable. I was looking through some ISO bills on Friday, and the capacity component of RMLD's bill for just the month of June was $2 million. And that is a direct pass-through. That's a result of the auction that the ISO procures. And 3 years ago, Footprint Power was the successful winning bid, and they submitted a bid of $15 per kilowatt month to be in that auction, and it cleared. So all the utilities in the Northeast Massachusetts area, which is the Boston area, are subject to paying for that because we're located here. And so RMLD's response of that is a pass-through. So we've crafted many programs to try to manage that peak, such as our Shred the Peak campaign, all of our rebates programs, but that's a real cost. And that is reflective of last year's peak. So what we peaked on August 12th of 2016, RMLD is required to cover that amount plus reserves for the whole capacity period, which runs from June 1st to May 31st.
So that's the driver of the increase.
Correct. Additionally, transmission has been increasing on the range of 4 to 6% at each year. Because a lot of these projects require infrastructure upgrades to the large voltage wires that bring the power from the generators to the cities, that cost gets socialized through all the customers in the New England region. Those costs have dramatically increased over the last 10 years by $9 billion. So every month, our customers are subject to those costs, and there's really nothing to do that we can hedge those costs because they have to get the power to the load centers. And so those are the driving costs. Additionally, RMLD has implemented some maintenance programs, which we have been working on for the last couple of years, and so that's contributed slightly. So 60% of the overall increase in the July bills are reflective of capacity and transmission. The good news about that is energy is kind of stabilized, and that's a pass-through as well. So we're hoping that will remain flat or slightly decreasing, so that will have a positive impact on the customer's bill. And really, as a message to our customers, you only get charged for what you use. So if there's a situation where customers are feeling a pinch, we would encourage them to reach out to the department to look for conservation efforts. LED light bulbs are a good way to use a lot less power than incandescent light bulbs. Fans use less energy than central air conditioners. So there's some tips on our website, and we'll be happy, our customer service department will be happy to work with customers because you only pay for what you use. And if you're able to use a little less, that could help maybe control some of the costs.
Last question, what is the, I never pursued it, but what's the purpose of the telemarketing? They say if your bill is less than $150 or more than or something, then you press a number and they'll, do you know what they're driving at? Are they?
Well, what you're getting is you're getting a robocall, because I get at least 6 of those in the office every day at night.
Yeah, I think some of those telemarketers are really focusing on customers that are not subject to deregulate, or that are subject to deregulation, so they have an option for their power supply. The issue here at RMLD is our rates are so much lower than those customers who do have those options. Our rates are 30 to almost 50% lower than those customers that
The
are.
robocalls are still coming here in the
Correct.
areas.
Yeah.
I got one the other night saying that your bill's going up 40%. I was like, when did we vote that?
Chairman of this committee.
Does that answer your
But
question, Tom?
What
Yes.
I want to stress is to everybody out there is, if you have a question, please call the department.
Correct. We'd be happy to work
Please
with
call the
customers.
department. Don't, and ask questions.
Yep.
They will
We're
certainly
actually
be
here
more
to
than
serve
helpful.
them, so we'd be happy to speak with them.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yeah.
And this gets back to why if we can generate power in the district, we're not subject to any of the capacity or transmission charges that you just enumerated as being such a huge driver of the recent rate increases.
Correct.
That means if there's a solar generator, even if we're buying the power for roughly what we're selling it for, we're saving on transmission and capacity charges. And
For the portion that solar is generating during that peak period, that is correct.
right, and even when it's not peak period, there's the transmission cost that we're not paying, correct? Even when it's not peak. We're not paying to get it from here to there because it's already here.
Correct.
Right. Or from there to here because it's already here.
Correct.
So this is why, to get back to the earlier point, anything we can do. And how's the gas generator doing?
Good. Very good. We're
Hamid's
We're-
going to
we're
report on that.
com-
Hamid will report on that when he gets up.
thanks.
Okay.
So this cost here looks, again, we're comparing May of 2016 to May of 27, just so we can give the board a snapshot in time. In this cost, we've actually included the percent of usage by type of resource, and then we've added the cost structure, so you can get a sense of the different costs and the magnitude. So in the month of May of 26, the average cost of energy for the RMLD's portfolio was about 3.5 cents, which is very reasonable. Some of the renewables, wind, we pay a little under 10 cents for that. Solar is around 7 cents. The nuclears, it's at like not even a penny. So it's significantly cheaper for the energy portion of that. And it goes through, talks about the spot market. 22, and our system costs at 46. And so the next slide. Oh, sure.
Shane, why wouldn't we buy more nuclear if it was so cheap? Are you restricted on how much you can buy?
Well,
nuclear?
there's none being built. Pilgrim's being decommissioned.
So you're buying as much as you can, really?
Right. And so it's very inexpensive in the energy component. However, the capital costs to construct a nuclear plant are significant. And so the projects that RMLD is involved in, which is the Millstone and the Seabrook, next year that debt service will be paid off. So this is the gravy time where we're going to continue to have to pay the operations and the maintenance of that. However, all the capital investments that we've made over the last 30 years have come to fruition. So the mortgage is finally being gone. And so that will help with our ratepayers because that will reduce costs additionally.
Even further? Wow.
Correct.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. So this chart looks at May 2017, and our renewables have increased. If we look from 16 to 17, these are up to be 22%, where they were around 14% last year. Nuclear had more generation. It was around 17.56. Our system power is around 42.8, and our spot market was consistent around 15%. If we add on the cost structure, in May of 2016, our average cost was around $35 per megawatt hour, or 3.5 cents. In May of 2017, it was around $30. So again, these costs are a pass-through to our customers. They get passed through the fuel charge adjustment. And there's some lag in that because of the way the billing goes. But overall, from year to year, there's been a reduction in the cost that we charge our customers.
Thank you.
You all set?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Are you doing Fordham Road too?
Oh, yep.
Okay. All right. Why don't you give us a setup on that? and we
Sure.
can Go for it.
The RMLD has been working with a solar developer at 4050 Fordham Road in Wilmington. The size of the array is approximately 1.8 megawatts AC. We're looking at a 20-year contract. It's with Kearsarge Solar LLC. They're a developer out of Watertown, Mass. They plan on constructing just a little under 5,000 panels at this location. The approximate annual generation will be about 1,500 megawatt hours per year, and it's looking at a 20-year contract. The department is proposing to use this project as our Solar Choice Phase 2. We have not begun the marketing campaign because it's contingent on the board approving the contract. But we do have a waiting list of customers who have signed up, in excess of 87 customers, I believe,
Wow.
without any marketing.
That's good. Okay. And this was voted on by the CAB, they have approved
Correct. The CAP approved it in their May meeting.
in their May meeting, and the board originally had discussed this back in June, at the June 15th executive session. We did approve that at that meeting, so, but we do need to actually take a formal vote here at this meeting, so if somebody will make the motion,
I'll make the motion.
go ahead.
Move that the RMLD Board of Commissioners authorize the General Manager of Reading Municipal Light Department to finalize negotiations and execute a contract with Kearsarge Solar LLC for the output of a facility at 40-50 Fordham Road, Wilmington, Massachusetts.
Is that seconded?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? I see none. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right, very good. Mead, you're up.
Good evening.
Good evening, Amit.
Evening.
So my report for the month of May, I guess.
Looks good.
Waiting for the
Yeah,
waiting
no-
for
no
the,
mistake.
the slide. Better be blue than cloudy, right?
Red, yeah.
All right. So this is for the month of May report. The first slide, you see the capital improvement projects, the construction projects, basically. and the percentage completed for each project. That's going to bring the total year-to-date FY17 to $588,355 for this category. Obviously, we got other categories in our budget that was approved by the board for $9.4 million. Year-to-date on all the categories, the spending was for the month of May was closed at $6.4 million. And obviously, we got more coming up in the month of June. You have to pay for the generator. That's another $2 million, and that's going to bring it up to close to what we asked for, which that's great. Routine construction, the next slide shows you for those categories. For the month of May, we spent $118,263. That brings the fiscal year to date to $1.724 million for the routine constructions. The routine maintenance, these are the 7 or 8 maintenance categories, 7 maintenance categories that we are working on. We're making great progress on those. Basically, the substations are in good shape, which is good. That's what we need to be watching. The pole inspection program is going great. We're making great progress on those. On the double poles, we're making great progress for in North Reading, because that was the area that we had the heaviest double poles. So we are removing like 10 or 15 a week. So we're making good progress for those, removing the pole butts. The transformer replacement program, it's great. We're making good progress. Manhole inspection, porcelain cutout, tree trimming, and basically at the substations we had no hot spots. So those maintenance that we've done, it's paying off. Really, the system is in solid shape at the source, at least.
Nice.
For now. The double poles, we got 16,000 approximately poles that, 50, the ownership is 50-50, but custodial it varies between the Verizon and Reading. So North Reading and half the Reading is our responsibility, and the rest is Verizon's custodial area. The next slide, you see the engine. The engine is the program that shows ball in court, basically for transfers, pole butt removals, and the installations. That's it for the town of Linfield. You see Reading, North Reading, and Wilmington. And for those, as you could see, still for the North Reading and Reading also, we got 68 and 67 poles that we need to be removing the pole butts. And we got some transfers that we're good. We were good in keeping up with the transfers, but basically what the holdup is really is with Verizon and Comcast. And I don't want to push the blame on them, but they got their own challenges to deal with too. So as soon as everybody is basically done the transfer, then we get to them and we schedule them for the removals. And again, I want to stress the importance. First, I want to thank the community for all 4 communities to, work with us, bear with us. I know they look ugly, but, we need to put them on the schedule. We got lots of maintenance going on, and we get to them in the order of priority, and obviously the safety. So the stuff that needs to be moved faster, some stuff you see that, we get done faster than the others. So basically, we are making good progress on those. The next slide is the reliability indices. That's great. Our reliability is strong, is good, and it's really getting better and better. So in all 3 categories, SAIDI, KD, and SAFE, so you see the numbers are well below national and regional averages. And the last slide is showing the outage causes. Basically, on the right side, you see the 5 years average. On the left side, you see for the month of May, we've had some challenges due to the storms, that the trees, they came down, lots of trees, and that's always an issue. But in the categories of the equipment and wildlife, you could see that, compared to the 5 years averages, we're making some progress. That means that, we're stepping in the right direction with those maintenance programs, which shows, improvements. So basically, that concludes my report for the day, for the night.
Right.
If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to take them. Yes.
On the double poles, so I'm a little fuzzy here, but I know that one of the 2 is renegotiating its franchise with the town right now. And I just wonder if the town is aware, or the towns, that they're the reason why there's double poles and all this unsightliness around town, and maybe this is a point of leverage. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wonder if there could be a communication over to town halls that the reason we still have double poles is because Comcast and Verizon are not doing their jobs.
Well, we've been communicating at the meetings that we had
Right.
with the general manager, myself, and Jane.
Yeah.
We've been stressing that well, it takes a long time for them. Unfortunately, we don't have any leverage on the
Right.
third
We don't,
parties.
except when towns are renegotiating franchise
Yeah.
agreements, and it's like, what are you doing to my town?
And we're doing the best we can, because I'm grateful for this. Is a great program, engines, that everybody could have an access to utilities, so
Right.
they could see whose ball in court is,
Right.
and where the people are. Where
These
the
are really
utilities are.
highly profitable companies
Yeah.
that make money hand over fist in our communities, and so sometimes they need to do their part.
Also,
all.
double poles are not really that bad. That means that the maintenance on the system is being done.
Right.
There is a reason for that. Some of
Because-
them are due to motor vehicle accidents, and the rest are because we're making system improvements. And as we're upgrading the stuff, which is good for maintenance, that's why those double poles they exist.
Right.
I'll be nervous if they don't exist,
Right. Exactly. But
with the exception of motor vehicle accidents that we don't want
I think,
anybody to
I think
go
what the
through
board
that.
is asking
Yeah.
for, if you get the word back to the town.
Sure, we will. We have.
we don't have
and
leverage,
will.
but we can use our mouths and speak.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the best opportunity would be at the meetings that we have semi-annually with the towns, and then that's how when we give them the report, they see these, and that's our opportunity. We say, but sure, we can re-emphasize
I'm
that
also
to
aware
the
that
towns.
the cable TV contracts in North Reading are being negotiated at this point too.
Right.
So maybe the work can go up there also.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
It would be good to see a letter coming from the department to the towns just to say, hey, by the way, these guys need to step up the pace, and when these guys are coming to the boards of the town, the select boards, it's an opportunity to remind them of their responsibilities to maintain their infrastructure and transfer to new poles in a timely manner.
I think we said that in North Reading, right, Jane? We brought it up.
that they were in the process of negotiating.
Yeah. That's what they said, that, but we did the same thing at Reading also. Reading, we mentioned about the double poles, and but we can remind the town managers on something
Good, very
to
good.
that effect.
Okay.
And I guess you wanted to know about the generator,
Yes.
the DG, where we are with it. I'll get great news for you. I guess after some challenges that we had on the way, finally I think it all gonna be done by next Thursday. We were supposed to have the ribbon cutting today, but I pushed it off because we still have some final testing that we need to do. But as of next Thursday, we are ready to go online, basically.
Wow.
We may had some serious challenges that we overcame those, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank Town of North Reading Administrator Mr. Gilberto and his team, town departments, for helping us overcome those challenges and helping us, to moving this project along, which I appreciated. That was great project, that we went through, and it was a pilot, obviously. So it's expected that you meet some challenges on the pilot, the first one being done. And if we're going to continue this program, I think we're going to be, more experienced to meet those
And
challenges.
how will it work? When will it start generating power? Is it going to be coincide with peak demand?
Well, the
or-
way we're going to do that, we set up a procedure with IRD department, with Jane, that a day ahead we know when the next day forecast is going to look like. So we're going to start generating maybe 3-4 hours before we hit the peak, because our peak is different than the New England ISO's peak. So we're going to make sure within that window we have the generator running. And by running the generator,
So
obviously...
you'll err on the side of caution.
Yes.
It'll start
On
before and end
before
after.
and after. Yeah, that's how we're going to do that. And we are in direct communications. Next Thursday, engineers and technical services, my staff, they're going to be trained. And actually, once we connect it to the SCADA, we can operate it from home.
Can't turn it on tomorrow, can you?
No, tomorrow was, I'm sorry?
Can't turn it on
No,
tomorrow.
unfortunately,
Why is tomorrow
no,
gonna be
because
a-
we have to do some final testing, and at the testing actually it's very important because the contractors, they wanted just to close the generator to our system. I have some concerns about paralleling it to our system. I need to do further testing, make sure that their system is in phase with our system,
Right.
and we're not going to run into any difficulties. I mean, yeah, we're going to wait a little bit more, but it's worth it. So at least it's going to be done safely. But when it's running, I guarantee you it's going to be 100% safe, and it's a great engine. It's a great product, really. We have been running it several times, obviously with no load. And the generator is running perfect, so there hasn't been any issues with the unit itself. And we got 7 years warranty on it anyway, so, but we should be able to do fine, well.
All right, very good. You have a bid here too? You're
I beg your pardon?
You're doing the bid?
Yeah, the bid.
Clothing? Okay.
Yes.
Could you give us a setup and we'll get the motion?
So this bid, you want me to explain, or this is the FR clothing basically. We are liable for that. We need to provide FR2 with the arc flash study about a year and a half ago, and as a result of that, we need to provide PPE for the line workers and technical services engineers. So this is level 2, category 2, which covers approximately 80% of the situations in the system. We also have category 4 that we already purchased the equipment for category 4. So now we're going, we had a bid out for FR2 level. We sent a bid to 16 companies. Out of those, there were some non-submittal responses from Graybar, Slate Rock, Safety, and Wesco. Basically, the reason they explained that, either they are they're getting into the program, or they cannot provide services at this time because they're out of stock. So that's why they decided not to participate. But the sealed proposals were received from Action Apparel Incorporation and Air Gas Safety and Hudson Workwear and Tyndale Company. Basically, the two responsive bidders were Tyndale and Action Apparel. So the difference between those two was $255. The lowest bidder was Action, and the highest bidder was Tyndale. But the problem was that Action, they didn't have any management program. But for the money that for $250 more, we get a better management program from Tyndale. So we don't have to keep track of the changes and everything that they keep the accounting over there. So we don't have to use other resources to keep track of the the accounting and reporting and everything. So the recommendation is to award a bid to Tyndale for that small increase.
Somebody want to read the motion?
Yeah, I'll do it. Move that proposal 2018-02 for category 2, flame retardant clothing, an allowance-based managed clothing program be awarded to Tyndale Company as the most responsible and eligible bidder in the estimated amount of $72,978.50 pursuant to MGLC 30B on the recommendation of the general manager. This is a 3-year contract, dollar amounts per
That's not
employee.
part of the motion, but that's okay.
All right,
It's not part of the motion.
all right,
It is a 3-year contract, but that's
Yeah.
not part of the motion.
all right.
You can certainly read it, though.
No, it's all right, I'll let it go.
All right, very good. All right, discussion? Anybody?
Second?
Seeing, we had second, yes. Yes, thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, that motion carries 5-0. So we're up to general discussion. Under general discussion, I have just one item. The subcommittee on the payment to the town has not met yet. I don't know if we're waiting for the CAB members to be appointed. Can we get the message to the CAB that they need to get the members appointed someday soon? If you would, please.
Are you aware of this committee?
Yeah.
I actually did not attend the last meeting, and our last meeting was canceled because there wasn't a quorum,
Right,
and the meeting
yeah.
before that, I was not at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
That
have,
explains why you don't know about this.
I have heard from the Reading Selectman is Dan Enzinger, who's representing the Reading Selectman. And he caught me over the weekend in church and asked me what we were doing, you know. It's been a while since we met, and I said, oh, I don't know, I'll go back and find out, so. All right, yeah,
The commitment is to report out at the next town meeting, which is November-ish.
November, right.
Okay, yeah, so it's good to put some attention units on it, because it'll be September
Right.
before we know it, and then
Right, exactly.
we'll have a couple of meetings.
Right, because we gotta set up, we gotta look at, you know, availability of everybody for dates and so forth on that too, so.
Yeah.
that's what we-
Who's representing us, the board?
John and I.
You two guys, okay.
So, all right, very good. Other than that, we've got the board meetings, we've got the NEPA conference in August. The board meeting is September the 21st, but Tracy tells me there's a problem with that.
This is September,
In September.
board meeting?
So the board meeting in September is scheduled for the 21st, but that's Rosh Hashanah, that date, so. I don't know how people.
The 28th, maybe with the possibility of having the audit report at that time if it's ready.
Okay.
Maybe away on the 28th.
I won't be here on the 28th. There's the NERA conference.
Yeah,
Is that where you're gonna be?
The
Yeah.
14th.
14th is better.
All right, the 14th.
Do you want to do, we could do the day before, is the 20th better for everybody?
The 20th's even better.
If we do a Wednesday, the day before?
No, because I think it starts on Wednesday. It's a 3-day
Okay.
holiday.
Oh, okay.
All right. Sorry, us Gentiles don't know.
So it's the 14th?
The 14th, okay.
14th?
No August meeting?
No, because we got the NEPA
Because the
conference.
yeah.
NEPA conference. You will, we usually post that for the board, for the NEPA conference. Usually it's posted. I don't know who wants to come, but if anybody wants to come and see us, you know, sit around the porch or whatever.
Yeah, the night of the 14th, I will not be here. I have a conflict out of town meeting.
The 14th may be a tough date for me, I'm gonna have to see. You may have to.
We may have to,
Do you want a different day then?
I don't know what people's availability is. You wanna, if we go to
If
the
you have a
28th,
quorum and whatnot, you,
If we go to the 28th, I hear that's another problem.
yeah, well, Dave and I are both out on the 28th.
Yeah.
actually, I'm on the 28th too.
Yeah,
I'm in Scotland.
yeah,
Well, why don't you leave it as the 14th, and then we'll talk about it at NEPA.
okay, fine.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right,
Yep.
Is the CAB going to NEPA?
some members are, from what I understand.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I'm not going, I don't know if
You're not
other
going?
members are going.
But-
yeah. We need to schedule another strategy meeting at some point too. That's what we need to schedule at this point, so. I don't know if you want to do that in August, or whether you want to wait till September at this point.
I agree.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because we got the highest priority items already, right?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, because the staff understandably has been
okay,
tied up with a lot of day-to-day activity, so some of the other things, even though they're not priority items, require some inputs from,
right, I understand the staff is gathering information for us too, that they need some time to gather, so.
so I would think August is probably not a good.
Yeah, we'll do September. We'll do September. We'll talk about that. We'll circulate, Tracy, I'll have Tracy circulate a request for dates, of availability of dates in September. Let me get that. Yes,
Mr. Chair, I don't know.
Mr. Former Chair.
Thank you. That feels good. So I'm just wondering, since we do broadcast to town, whether you want to make any comment on the NEPA conference or the, what you refer to really, the town meetings, just so people are aware of what we're talking about.
The NEPA conference, the NEPA conference is the Northeast Public Power Association, their annual conference. And it's August the 20th through the 23rd. This year it's in Newport. And it's basically it's the trade association that deals with municipal utilities. And it gathers all the different people together, and they have different speakers to come and speak. And it's also a great opportunity to network with people. very much so, to talk to other people and see what they're doing in other systems. You know, it's a great time to network with people on that and talk to all of them on that. So that's really NEPA this year, so. Starts on I believe the 20th is a Sunday, and it ends on after breakfast on Wednesday. So, and it's in Newport, Rhode Island this year, so. All right, very good. All right, policy committee, we got to have a policy committee at some point?
I think that Colleen wants the policy committee to meet, which is both James and John. So I will be in touch when I know more about what she has in mind.
Okay,
And then I'll circulate some,
Sure.
maybe some morning meeting.
Maybe an AM meeting? Yeah.
Tracy, is there any other committees that are overdue to meet at this point?
No.
okay, very good. Do you have anything else for general discussion, anybody? If not, I'll entertain a motion to go in executive session.
So moved.
You read the motion, please. Somebody needs to read the motion.
Oh, it's in the back. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I move that the board go into executive session to approve executive session minutes from October 20th, 2016, December 15th, 2016, January 31st, 2017, February 23rd, 2017, March 23rd, 2017, and April 20th, 2017, to discuss trade secrets or confidential, competitively sensitive, or other proprietary information in the course of activities conducted by a governmental body as an energy supplier under a license granted by the Department of Public Utilities, and to consider the purchase of real property and return to regular session for the sole purpose of adjournment.
That's seconded.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Poll the board. Mr. Talbot?
Mr. Talbot.
Mr. O'Rourke?
Aye.
Mr.
O'Rourke, aye.
Mr. Hennessy, aye.
Mr.
Mr. Stempak, aye.
Yep, we're going to executive session.